Sounds like my alarm. I made sure I shut it off. Wheel of Fortune?
I know.
But he does, he like takes it around, yep, and just right here on your mark and.
Ready? It looks like about 30 seconds.
Okay. Can she hear us okay?
Jennifer, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Awesome. The show is almost in your hands, so here we go.
Aw.
It is 6:00, so we can go ahead and call this meeting of special school board meeting of the Independent School District 882 to order. I believe that school board members Melissa Curtis and Kathy Zebarth are in person in the boardroom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's rise and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we can go on to the approval of the agenda for tonight.
This is Melissa.
Second is this is Kathy.
Motion made by Melissa Curtis, seconded by Kathy Zebarth. We'll do approval by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And Jennifer, aye. Motion passes 6-0. I'm not aware of any citizens' comments for the night.
No, we did not.
So we'll go on to the consent agenda. Board members, you received the packet of information in with everything else. If there's anything you have questions on, please let us know. Otherwise, we can have a motion for approval.
So moved. This is Melissa.
Seconded.
Motion made by Melissa Curtis, seconded by Kathy Zebar. All those in favor by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And Jennifer, aye. Motion passes 6-0. On to the collaborative connections and our gifts for the night. Eric?
All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is our first hybrid meeting, so we have people on site here, and we also have people on our Zoom and our YouTube link. So very excited to try something new. I have the collaborative connections, and we have a donation from Caribou Coffee. Both managers in town. So Chelsea, the manager by the Cub Food Store, and Craig, the manager by the Target store, both reached out to me and asked if they could do something special for our staff. They were absolutely enthralled with the things that teachers and all staff members have been doing during the last 9-10 months here. Very proud of us, and they just wanted to lift our day. So we took that opportunity up last week when our staff had a workshop on Thursday, and we were able to bring around some treats. I had the good fortune of working with Miss Sarah Welk, our district social worker, and we kind of felt like we were, just the person with a big bag of gifts on our back as we went around the community delivering some treats and coffee and hot chocolate. So thank you to Caribou Coffee, and we just continue to have so many businesses that reach out to us and just want to do something special. We'll be bringing in forward another one next board meeting. So thank you, community. You are truly amazing. You treat us very well. This estimated dollar value of the treats across the whole district so for was around, we estimated about $900.
Thank you, Eric. It's great that we have such a supportive community there for us. Would somebody like to read the resolution?
I can read it. Whereas Minnesota Statutes 123B.02 Subdivision 6 provides the board may receive for the benefit of the district, request donations or gifts for any proper purpose and apply the same to the proposed designated, and on behalf of the board may act as trustee of any trust created for the benefit of the district or the benefit of the pupils thereof, including trusts created to provide pupils of the district with advanced education after the completion of high school and the advancement of education. And whereas Minnesota Statute 46506 provides any city, county, school district, or town may accept a grant or device of real or personal property and maintain such property for the benefit of its citizens in accordance with the terms prescribed by the donor. Nothing herein shall authorize such acceptance or use for religious or sectarian purposes. Every school acceptance shall be by resolution of governing body adopted by a 2/3 majority of its members expressing such terms in full. And whereas ever such acceptance shall be by resolution of the governing body adopted by a 2/3 majority of its members expressing such terms in full, therefore be it resolved by the Monticello School Board 882 to gratefully accept the following donations from Caribou Coffee and Treats estimated value $900 for all staff at all buildings for staff development day. I probably wasn't supposed to read that whole thing. I'll read it later.
Do we have a second for the resolution?
Second.
I didn't hear a clear name there.
Oh, second, this is Melissa.
The resolution read by Kathy Zebar, seconded by Melissa Curtis. All those in favor by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Resolution passes 6-0. Now on to the welcome back grade 1 to 3 and grade 4 to 5 video and future videos with Clay Swapsky.
Good evening. Clay, Lily, and Jackson Sawatsky introducing this here. We just wanted to show you tonight our, excuse me, we put together, is actually Superintendent Olson's idea. He came to Gavin, Nelson, and I looking for some sort of video we could send to our families. Let's see, it would have been a week and a half ago now to welcome grades 1 through 3 back into our buildings. Obviously, they've been out for a while, and it can be a little jarring to have a change in schedule for even adults, let alone kids. So we wanted to show them some familiar faces and give them just another reason to look forward to coming back. So we sent that to families last Friday. We had the Little Mountain and Pinewood principals send it out to their grades 1 through 3. And we are currently, I'm going around to our buildings these next couple days, getting film at each of the, Pinewood, Little Mountain Middle School and the high school to create one for grade 4 through 12. And we'll send out the same thing this coming Friday, just same idea, trying to show kids some familiar and friendly faces and get them looking forward to coming back. And then just as far as future videos, just wanted to add, I know that we've certainly a group that we've been wanting to reach out to and connect with, and excuse me, to highlight what they're doing is our distance learning group. So we're kind of working right now on some ideas for how we can properly do that. I don't have necessarily a brilliant or detailed idea to share with you at the moment, but that is the next thing on our front burner, is to create a video that highlights the job that our distance learning educators and families are doing to get through this school year. So once we tackle the next welcome back video, we'll be moving on to that. And in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the welcome back to grades 1 through 3 that I believe Mr. Nelson is going to play for us right now.
For a month and a half, these halls have sat quietly, awaiting the return of our bubbling and brilliant students. While we're proud of the work that has been done in online learning, there's clearly no substitution for the energy and excitement of seeing these halls filled with students
Gavin,
eager to
can I
learn.
have you start it over because we can't hear it?
One quick sec.
For a month and a half, these halls have sat quietly, awaiting the return of our bubbling and brilliant students. While we're proud of the work that has been done in online learning, there's clearly no substitution for the energy and excitement of seeing these halls filled with students eager to learn and connect. Thankfully, the wait is over. We are so excited to welcome grades 1 through 3 back to Pinewood and Little Mountain Elementary this Monday, January 18th, as well as grades 1 through 5 of nature-based education. So excited that some of your favorite people wanted to reach out and let you know how much they're looking forward to seeing you this week.
Hello, Little Mountain 1st through 3rd graders and families. I just wanted to say how excited we are to bring you back with us in person. We get to be back in person on the 18th with all 1st through 3rd graders, and a couple weeks later with our 4th and 5th graders too. One thing that I've learned through all of this is we should never take for granted the time that we are together. School is definitely not the same without you. And while it's really great to be here with the teachers and the staff members, our custodians, our paraprofessionals, the cooks, everybody's here waiting for you, school just isn't the same without the students. So with everything that I hold dear, welcome back to Little Mountain. We are so happy that you're coming back.
Hello, I'm Mr. Norman, Assistant Principal at Pinewood Elementary and Principal for 4th and 5th grade nature-based students. And I am so excited to be talking to you today because in a few short days, starting on Monday, I get to see a whole bunch of you back in our buildings. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders, you have no idea how excited everybody who works there at Pinewood is to see you again and your smiling faces and just to be around you and all of your great energy on Monday. So we are psyched for 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade to come back. And 4th and 5th grade nature-based kids, I cannot wait to get you back out in the woods into the fresh snow and learning outdoors. Your teachers are beyond excited to see you back and be there with you. So a very big welcome back to all of our students.
Can't wait to see you.
Hey Little Mountain students, it's Mrs. Rengel, and I am so looking forward to having you guys back here in the halls. It is so quiet and really boring here without you, and I miss dancing with you in the hallways and walking back to class with you, and I will see you soon.
Hi, it's Mrs. Borger welcoming you back to Pinewood. Can't wait to see you.
Hello everybody, it's me, it's Mr. Boris. We've been lonely here without you, and we're excited to get you back in the building. We're just missing your faces around here and just so excited to have you back. So come back with smiles on your faces and we'll be ready to greet you then.
Hey kids, 1st through 3rd graders here at Nature-Based. Bogalki, Barnes, and I are all really excited to have you guys back. I'm excited to see you in person, being able to get out in that fresh snow, hang out with you, teach you about outdoors, teach you in the outdoors, and just get back to our normal there at school. So really excited for Monday to come. Can't come soon enough, and we'll see you guys then.
Before I forget, I have to also mention Sarah Welk was instrumental in putting that together. And as you all know, Gavin just does a fabulous job of editing those together and laying them out. So they both deserve a lot of credit for the work in getting that together.
Thank you, Clay and Gavin, for sharing that with us tonight. It was really nice to see, and it's great to see all the people districts coming together and sending a message out to our families. We can then go on to the next item on the agenda, the Teaching and Learning Cohort and 20 Days of Building Distance Learning Engagement Programming with Sue Height and Cindy Foshin.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So we're here tonight to present a recent professional development opportunity that we posted here starting in December for all of our staff. And we just wrapped up last week, Thursday, Friday, was kind of our wrap up. Just if you go to the name of it was 20 Days of Building Distance Learning Engagement. Go to the next slide, please, Jill. So I'm going to ask Jill to click on the link to the University of Minnesota. It was a study done by the University of Minnesota. Eric Olson shared the study with us, and it was a framework of teaching and learning resources for building distance learning engagement. And if you look at the whole study, it has an introduction. It also has 27 different articles with resources in there for teachers. And Eric asked us to, what we would suggest to roll this out to teachers. We thought we should share this with our teachers. Now, if I were a teacher, and I have been, if I would have received this, I would have went, oh, yes, this is wonderful, it's great. And I would have just tucked it in my email and left it at that for that great day when I have time. That, would it really roll around? So Cindy and I kind of came up with some ideas of how we could roll it out to staff, and we turned it into tips. if we go to the next slide, please, Jill, we'll talk about the tips and how we decided to roll this out.
Yeah, so in December, when Mr. Olson shared the article with us, we were in the middle of December. It was about December 14th, and if I look back when we got that, and everyone was in distance learning at that point. But our teachers were eager to learn a lot of strategies about effective engagement with their distance learning students. And we were hearing things like, how can I ever do every kid every day when I don't even have the strategies to be able to do this and be inclusive of everyone's needs? I need help. But at the same time, our buildings are all on different schedules. It was hard to bring people together at the same time, find a time that worked for everybody. So Sue and I sat down and thought, how can we reach every teacher, give them what they need, but at the same time, they're stretched so thin, how can we pace it out so that they can do it during their own time and what works for them? So we wanted to personalize our instruction for our teachers, like we asked them to do for their students. So we set out to find this way to do it. So we decided, why not try an online professional development? Other schools do it, so we thought we're going to try this as well. And so Sue came up with 20 days of distance learning because it's 2020 and it's been quite the year, and so we're going to hit on that 20. So we went through the 27 and we picked out the ones we thought were most relevant for staff, that they would be able to connect with the most and get the most tools from. So we did that. We picked out actually 19 articles. We spread it over, and so first we sent an invite to all buildings, all staff members, and said, who's interested in doing this? We'll give you 20 CEUs, continuing ed credits for doing this if you want to participate. No money, nothing, just we'll give you continuing ed credits. And lo and behold, we got 72 people who signed up and said, I'm interested, 72 people. And so we had a short kickoff meeting for about 15 minutes to explain to everybody, what is this going to look like? And then we decided every day we're going to send out the same kind of message with a new link to a new tip. And then teachers had to reflect, they had to read the article or they could listen to it. It was an audio. And then they needed to do a daily reflection. And they just had to summarize the article and then choose one way that they would implement that in their classroom. Pick one strategy. And then Sue and I gathered them all up and we put them all together on one master record for everybody to look at each other's ideas throughout. So Sue's going to show you a few of those.
So if we go to the next slide, please, Jill. So I did include the details of the invitation, and we don't have to click on that. You can look at that on your own. But a link to the sample feedback form, if you click on that, please, Jill. Second. So this one, the tip was about morning meetings. And so this is what it looked like that they would respond to. So nobody had to go fishing around for that form or whatever. We put it all right there in the email. So they just had to fill out their first name, their last name, their building assignment. And then as Cindy shared, provide a paragraph reflection of the article that they read and an example of how they would apply. So if you go back to the slide, or the main slide again, and then click on the master form. And at the end of the day or later in the evening, we would copy their answers to a master slide and share that with everyone so that they could see how others responded to the question. You know, what did they think? How might they apply it and learn from the group as a whole? And so those are all there. You can see the framework at the bottom, and then each tip or each day we would copy what was shared in total.
Yep, so you'll see 19 different articles across the bottom if you were to scroll across, and you can read everybody's different responses.
So if you go back to the main slide again, Jill, giving you a workout on the slide. That sounds good for you. Yes. Thank you. You're doing great. Next slide. And you know, really at the end or the culmination, what we asked is instead of another meeting, it was the end of the semester. People are really short on time and have a lot of details to wrap up and get started for a new quarter. So what we decided to do for we called it the finale, was we invited people to participate again in a summary. So if you click on to the next slide.
So this was day 20 for them. Day 20 was the finale.
And we asked them to choose from one of the following and send us a summary slide. And so we gave them choice again, how you could choose to say, how has your participation and reflection impacted your teaching currently and moving forward? Identify 5 takeaways to personalized distance learning. Or identify strategies you will use to reach students who are or with disabilities in distance or hybrid format, and then some key student engagement strategies. So if you go on to the next slide, so they could choose one of those, and there we've provided a link to the finale. So if you click on the link, please, Jill.
So we put them all together in one slideshow, and now we'll share that with everyone just so that they can see. And if you press present, Jill, you can hide the picture. That's okay.
Something that we saw over and over in kind of the summaries is how important it is to establish relationships, not only with students, but with parents. As you know, if you go on to another, just keep hitting forward or go to the next slide here. Like here, Georgia did this one, how I personalized distance learning. Invite them to make cookies virtually with me. She was the first, she's first here. So I just did these in order. They get to share their excitement every day. Here's one, go forward again. So here's another one where parent involvement and communication, how important that is. So it's not, relationships remain at the core of student engagement. Surprise, surprise, right? So just kind of a lot of these have a very similar theme about relationships and just slowing down, breakout rooms, small groups, etc.
Many of them talked a lot also about this format and how important this was for them at this time as they were in the midst of distance learning, to be able to learn and review and pick up strategies from other people, and how much they really appreciated this format of this distance PD. And so we're going to continue to explore this as we move forward, and we'll offer more opportunities for teachers as we move.
It's just a real appreciation for the pace and at their own pace.
We don't need to go through the whole slideshow, but particularly as Jill, you can just see how many slides there are, and people came back with all of their different takeaways. Some were very creative. A lot of hard work.
Any questions or comments?
Was this at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school?
Yeah, it was available to all staff. We had a couple of paraprofessionals asked if they could participate as well. So it's open to anybody who wanted to participate.
So I think we ended up with about anywhere between 20 and 30 on a regular basis for each one that ended up coming in, which was really good.
So even if they couldn't participate in all of the tips, we will still calculate the clock hours for those that they could.
We can choose.
So it's been hard to get professional development clock hours this year because we haven't been going to conferences or other types of typical professional development that we used to do pre-COVID.
I think it's important for everybody to understand that as we had our planning days, the planning days are kind of like those one-hit wonder workshops, right? And so then trying to find ways to continue to support teachers throughout their endeavors and learn from them. I mean, I heard words like collaboration and relationships. That's really what it's all about. But we wanted to make sure that we had something more ongoing and a teacher doesn't have necessarily that time built into the school day. The principals don't have that time to be able to just call a workshop whenever a teacher needs something. We have to figure out ways to give ongoing resources. And what I'm so proud about is when you look at this from a staffing perspective, we had over 70 people participate on their own to continue their learning, to share their learning. And I know that our principals and leaders of the buildings, along with Sue and Cindy, they're using collaborative tools way more often than when I first started teaching. I shut the door and taught myself, and now people are figuring out how to share these ideas that they have with each other. And this is a great example of this, and I think Cindy and Sue for rising to the occasion of doing something in the midst of being very busy. They took this on because it's what teachers need. And I just can't thank you enough. I can't thank all teachers that participated. And we know that even if you did participate, these strategies are trickling down throughout the ranks because of how well people work with each other.
Thank you for that, Cindy and Sue. Now on to Tina with resolution to approve the 2021 authorized check signers and electronic funds transfers.
So I have two quick agenda items, kind of a follow-up from the organizational meeting last time. On our checks, we have 3 board member signatures that are printed on our checks, and those reflect the current officers, if you will. So that needed to be updated to include Jennifer, Candy, and Melissa as the new chairperson, treasurer, and clerk. So the first one is a resolution to approve that change on our checks.
So moved. This is Candy.
Second, this is Melissa.
Motion made by Candy, seconded by Melissa to approve the authorized check signers. All those in favor by roll call. Candy?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0.
All right, and the second resolution is something that has to be done annually, whether the people change or not. So these are the people that are allowed to make electronic wire transfers, and we mainly do this with our payroll, tax payments to the IRS, the Minnesota Department of Revenue, PERA, TRA, those sort of things. So the authorized personnel to make those wire transfers are Mr. Olson, myself, Zach Harry in payroll, and Amy Stahlback, our controller.
So moved. This is Melissa.
Second. This is Candy.
Motion made by Melissa Curtis, seconded by Candy Carta to approve the electronic funds transfer. All those in favor by roll call. Melissa?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And Jennifer, aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Now, the next thing on our agenda is the approval of the 2021 school board committee assignments. Something that I'm not sure most people are aware of. School board members end up participating in a lot of different committees throughout the district. So we divide them up and do our best to attend what we can. There was one change since things went out last week. We forgot to add the community education committee on our list. So Candy is now taking that one on, and the curriculum advisory committee is just going to be Kathy, not Kathy and Candy. But otherwise, the list is what was sent out in the agenda information. So if we can have a motion to approve that.
To approve the committee assignments as presented by Jennifer.
Second, this is Melissa.
And who made the motion?
Sorry, this is Candy.
Okay. Motion made by Candy, seconded by Melissa to approve the committee assignment. All those by roll call. Candy?
Aye.
F?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer, aye. Motion passes 6-0. Now on to first reading of policies with Eric.
Right, as I transition to policy, just want to thank the elected officials for not only being members who lead school board meetings and subcommittee meetings, but also all the different district committees. I think it's good for all of our staff and public to know, just how many hours get dedicated each month to making our school district the best that it can be. So I just want to publicly thank everybody for being elected officials. It's a school board is a very time-consuming position, and we are so grateful for your service. Now moving on to policy, and the first policy that we are bringing forward is a policy that's not a new policy, but one that I'm really glad that we're bringing forward to first reading here tonight, because I believe it is a policy that needs to be just made known to the public. I think a lot of people think that once they go homeschool, that they are they're not on the umbrella of the school district, and that should be very far from the truth, because we want relationships with all of our students and residents of this community, and the homeschooling policy is a very good policy to dive into. So I know as leaders in the district, several principals, teachers, leaders, high school counselors met with a bunch of families who are considering homeschooling throughout the summer. And I appreciate those type of meetings, because education is a very important decision. And this policy is very important for all of our families to know about. And so along with reviewing the homeschool policy, which talks about conditions for homeschooling, talks about immunization, talks about curriculum. Our curriculum director, Cindy Foshing, works with the homeschool population as well. But there are a lot of things that can be made available to families just by asking, and just by making sure that you know what support systems we do have. Along with the traditional support systems that we do have, we have been reaching out to our homeschool families with periodic communication. And this periodic communication is going to just led to a survey that was sent out. And this survey is going to help us program even deeper with our homeschool population. I had a couple of families very excited in some recent emails since that survey went out, and said, you're really going to partner with us, and we might be able to take 1 or 2 courses with your district. And the funny thing is this policy has been intact since 2019. And very little change, but really there has been courses and classes and shared time for a long time, but I don't know that we are getting that communicated properly. So we are getting that communicated, and instead of just talking about the policy itself, I'm opening up the doors here, hoping that all families that are currently homeschooling their students, that they realize that we're ready to partner, and we're also ready to dive deeper into some hybrid types of situations that we'll be preparing and have been preparing this school year. We will have online accreditation for next year, and so instead of people having to go outside the community and be with teachers and people who are not part of the community, you could actually, as far as from the secondary level up, you could work with us here in Monticello and have the relationship with a teacher that is right on staff. So we're excited about continuing to use this policy as a guide to further develop our programming. So Please dive into this policy. This is first reading now. Families, if you're watching our live streaming tonight, please do not hesitate to call Eric Olson, the superintendent, or Cindy Foshing, director of curriculum instruction. Those will be your best two starting places. Any questions on the homeschool policy itself, school board members, policy 611? All right, that's first reading, so if something does hit you as far as a question, please don't hesitate to ask. And then that's the same for school board and our families. Next policy is policy number 209, and it's the school board member roles and responsibilities. And we're adding the word of code of ethics. And so there are several changes in this this policy, and the changes in this policy come from the Minnesota School Board Association. And so I'll just highlight a few of these changes. But first of all, we should know the purpose of the school board. I just made mention to them being elected officials. The Board of Education of Independent School District 882 believes that a clear understanding of the roles and responsibilities of board members is critical to fulfilling their role in the school district. Decisions will be made with these roles and responsibilities in mind and will always reflect the highest level of integrity. So the purpose of this policy is to assist individual school board members in understanding her or his role as part of the school board and in recognizing the contribution that each member must make to develop an effective and responsible school board. So the school board should follow the code of ethics in this policy, which include attending school board meetings, coming to the meetings prepared for discussion, listen to the opinions of and views of others, vote conscious after informed discussion, unless abstain because a conflict of internal interest exists. Having trouble with my glasses and not without them, I can't see very well. So be primarily motivated by a desire to provide the best possible education for students of the district and inform myself of about proper duties and functions of a school board member. And then just a couple other highlighted changes in looking at performing the proper functions of a school board, members will. So these are I will statements, focus on education. Remember, responsibility is to set policy, not implement policy. That's what leaders get hired to do. And then recognize the board member responsibility exercised through the actions of the school board as a whole is to see that the schools are properly run, not board members to run them. And then work through the superintendent, not over around, and delegate the implementation of school board decisions to the superintendent. So these are a few of the I think the big changes, and then a lot of the other changes were more semantic, just more grammar types of things and word choices. And then one other spot that of this policy that had some overall changes to it is just fulfilling obligation as a school board member. And there are 7 suggestions here for the school board member as part of their code of ethics, but complying with state and federal laws, complying with district policy, abide by all rules and regulations, recognize the school district business may be legally transacted only in an open meeting of the school board, avoid conflicts of interest and refrain from using school board position for personal gain, and take no private action that will compromise the school board, and guard the confidentiality of information to protect under applicants of law. So I think this one's an important one for a school board, but it's also important for the public to know that just like your own position that you might have as a job or in your own profession, many of us have code of ethics, and so do our school board members. And they do a great job of upholding those in order to serve the best interests of the students in our community. So that's policy 209. Any questions?
Thank you, Eric. Board members, if you have any questions pop up, please be sure to reach out to Eric or one of the policy committee members, and we'll be back at the next meeting to approve those policies. Thank you. Now I think we can call for an adjournment of this meeting.
So moved. This is Melissa.
Second, this is Candy.
Motion made by Melissa Curtis, seconded by Candy Carta. All those by roll call. Candy?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
And Jennifer, aye. Motion passes 6-0. This meeting is adjourned at 6:42, and we can move into the work session.
And just a reminder, Jennifer, the work session is going to be on that Google link for all school board members.
Okay.
And